Hey guys, this is Kritika. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, on this channel I make travel and lifestyle videos, and we recently hit 300,000 subscribers on this channel, which is amazing. So thank you so much if you're subscribed to this channel, and if you're not, you can click the subscribe button down below to join the fam. Today I'm going to be doing a Q&A video. I feel like I haven't done one in a very long time. So this is going to be a long video because we have gotten over 500 questions, I think, which is insane. I'm not going to be able to answer all of them, but I have shortlisted some questions which I liked or which I haven't really answered before. So I'll leave timestamps down below. If you want to skip and only see answers to specific questions, you can do that. But yeah, this is going to be a long and chatty video, so grab a snack and let's get started. The first question is, who are your YouTuber friends? Now, honestly, one of the best things about YouTube is all the amazing friends I've made, and I genuinely mean this. I've made some amazing friendships through YouTube and Instagram, and to speak about YouTube specifically, let me give you a list of names that I can think of off the top of my head. There's Saloni Srivastav. Her and I, we talk every now and then, but whenever we do talk, our calls end up going on for like 3-4 hours literally. Then there's Nishit, Hopping Bug. We end up talking quite often too. Mridul and Haley are my oldest, I think, YouTube friends. We met back in 2017, I think, and I've been friends with them since then. Then there's Saheli Chatterjee. There's Ivana, who has a channel called Travel Vlog IV. There's Navankur, who has a channel called Yatri Doctor. We end up texting quite often. There's Dipanshu, Nomadic Indian. So yeah, I'm sure I'm forgetting names. There are so many people, and I've made some amazing friendships through YouTube. But yeah, these were some of the people. Which Hogwarts house are you in? Of course, everyone wants to be in Gryffindor, but according to Pottermore, I'm in Ravenclaw. How much do you earn in a month? Now, I've addressed this in separate videos on my channel. I'll leave a card over here if you're curious to know the different sources of income I have and how much I make on average. But as a content creator, how much you're earning is not really fixed. Some months I make a lot of money, other months I don't make so much money. So it's very important to like save your money and be very good with your finances. Especially now during the pandemic. Like this month I don't think I've made as much money, but last month I probably made 4 times what I made this month. So it really depends. There's a lot of fluctuation. It depends on how many brand deals you want to take up and stuff as well. So yeah, it's very subjective, but watch that video if you want to know more. How hard was it to quit your job and be a full-time YouTuber? Now honestly, when I decided to do this was back in 2017. I had a job then, and my plan was to apply to B schools, and that was something I was working towards. I'd taken my GMAT. I was in the process of starting my applications for B schools abroad and stuff. But yeah, I think the hardest part for me, even though my parents were very supportive, is the fact that I had this identity that I'd created for myself, and what I was about to do, which was YouTube, was completely opposite of that identity. And I just felt like, as someone who's always topped her class and been like the smart person, so to say, taking up something like YouTube just felt very frivolous. So mentally it felt like I was making like a horrible decision, and I just had a lot of self-doubt, and I genuinely had so many sleepless nights before I actually gave my resignation at work, and I was just very confused about what to do. But yeah, it has honestly been one of the best decisions ever, so no regrets at all. How old were you when you started vlogging? I started in 2017, so I think I was 24 then. How do you motivate yourself? Off late, I just don't feel like editing my videos. Oh my god, this is something I can relate to as well, because there are days when I just don't want to edit or do any work, and unfortunately there's no easy solution to this. I feel like motivation is something that comes when you start taking action. So for me, the way to like combat this whole feeling is just by forcing myself to sit down and do some work, and then somehow the motivation also follows. So try doing that. I know it's hard, but sometimes also, you know, maybe you just need to take a break, because we all need a break. So yeah, give yourself like a day or 2 off maybe, and if you still don't feel motivated, then yeah, try forcing yourself to do it until you actually feel motivated. How much has your life changed when you used to do a corporate job and you being a YouTuber today? I have very conveniently forgotten what my corporate life was like, but if I have to refresh those memories, back then I, on a personal level, just felt so dissatisfied with life. My job wasn't bad, so to say. Like, my colleagues were nice, my boss was nice, there was nothing wrong with the job, but I just felt so dissatisfied. I felt like I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't feel like I was living up to my full potential, and that made me feel really crappy. And also the fact that I didn't really have any freedom. I feel like as a person, I value freedom so much. It's definitely one of my top values. And by freedom, I mean, you know, freedom in every aspect. So time freedom to be able to work anytime, location freedom to be able to work from anywhere, and of course financial freedom and stuff like that. I don't think I had the time and location freedom when I had a job. I had to go to work during the work hours. I couldn't just take off and travel and work from somewhere else. That wasn't an option. And I remember my company where I was working had very few days off in a year, so I didn't even get to travel because all my work leaves ended up going and visiting family. Like I would visit them twice a year. So yeah, in that sense I just hated my life. I just didn't feel like that's something I wanted to be doing, and I really wanted to have more control over my life and be my own boss, so to say. So definitely my life has completely changed since then, and even over the last few years of me doing YouTube, like each year has been very different, and now I feel like I'm closer to where I want to be, so that is great. What do you plan on doing next, since travel videos aren't possible for a bit? So this is true. I don't think travel is going to be possible for a while. Things keep changing so much. When I went to Meghalaya, I thought travel was slowly opening up, and then the second wave happened. So there's no clarity on when travel will start again. So yeah, the plan right now is I'm just experimenting with a lot of lifestyle content. I make like vlogs from home and stuff like that. So I'm doing that. I've also, for the longest time, I think in 2018 I thought of this, but of course back then I didn't have enough knowledge or skills to be able to do it. But I've always wanted to teach people how to be a YouTuber and how to make this like a successful career. I even have a free masterclass. It's 1 hour long, and it has like all the basics of how to get started with YouTube. I'll leave a link to that. You can sign up if you're interested. But yeah, I want to do like more paid programs where I'm more involved and a little more advanced. So the first batch for that is going to be launching soon. I'm very excited about that, and there's going to be limited spots. So if you're interested, I have a VIP list which will be the first to know when this course launches. You can sign up for that from the link below. What is the one thing that kept you positive in this year? Honestly, this year I think has been difficult for everyone in different ways. I just feel grateful that I've remained healthy. Everyone in my family is healthy and doing well, and I just got to spend time with my family. So I think that's what I'm most grateful for, because when I moved out of home and moved back to Mumbai, I honestly didn't think I'd ever get the chance to live at home again. Of course I'd visit and stuff, but I had moved out for good. So yeah, I think it was kind of nice to be able to live at home again, eat a lot of like amazing home cooked food, and just everyone's health and well-being. I'm grateful for that. Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? Wow, this is such a difficult question because I honestly have no idea. But in the next 5 years, I will hopefully be still doing YouTube. I would have expanded my business into other areas. Like I said, I want to get into teaching and online coaching and stuff. So hopefully I'll be doing that as well apart from YouTube. And on a personal front, I think in 5 years, I'm probably going to be married. Don't think kids will be in the picture, but yeah, definitely see myself being married in the next 5 years. Other than that, I don't really think I have a plan for 5 years. I'm just sort of going with the flow and seeing what life throws at me. Do you enjoy solo trip or group trip? So contrary to popular belief, I don't enjoy solo trips as much as you would think I would. Nothing against them. The few solo trips I've done, I've actually enjoyed them a lot. But I think my favorite type of travel is when I'm traveling with one other person. So whether it's a friend or if it's my brother or anyone, but like one other person, I think that's the perfect travel for me, because I really like having someone to experience the things I'm experiencing with. And yeah, it's always fun to have someone who has similar interests to you and who you vibe with. I think that's very important to me. And also when you're only 2 people rather than a big group, you can accommodate the needs of both people. So yeah, I think my favorite type of travel is with one other person, provided that person is someone you vibe with. If not, I'd rather travel solo. How do you manage your travel expenses? So I've made a detailed video explaining how I fund my lifestyle and how I travel, but basically back when I started, I had been working in a corporate job for 4 years, so I did have some savings and stuff. So I used that to travel, and I also sort of changed my whole lifestyle. I used to live in Mumbai and I gave that up to move back with my parents to save on rent money. So I minimized my expenses and basically tried to do more budget trips and stuff when I started. But now I've been fortunate that a lot of tourism boards and travel companies want to work with me, so a lot of my trips are sponsored by them, and I'm also making decent money now, so if I had to like fund my own travels, I could do that as well. Any plans to relocate to Mumbai? So honestly, when I moved back to Mumbai, like I think last year, it was because there was so much travel happening. I wanted to live in a place where there was an airport nearby, because from Vellore, the airport is like 3 hours away. It was just getting extremely difficult to like plan trips. Also, I got like more work opportunities in Mumbai. There were more events and stuff happening as well. None of those things are happening now, so I don't know if it makes sense to move back. Another thing is that I kind of also had a social life because a lot of my friends were living in Mumbai, but a lot of my friends have either moved out of the city or moved out of the country even. So I don't know if or when I will move back to Mumbai. I don't know if it makes sense, but yeah, not anytime soon. We will see how things change. Have you gotten vaccinated? Yes. In fact, I was supposed to film this video last week, but I somehow managed to get a slot on Goel for a vaccine. Literally woke up at 6 a.m. to get a slot, and I spoke about it on Instagram if you're following me there. So yeah, I ended up getting the vaccine, and then that weekend I couldn't really film the video because I was down with a fever and post-vaccine stuff. But yes, I'm so glad I got the vaccine. And if and when you get the chance to, I think most states are opening it up now. So please do go and get vaccinated. In which age have you started working? And you are my inspiration always. Thank you so much. And I basically started working when I was 20 years old. So I started my undergrad when I was 17. Graduated when I was 20, and literally the day I finished my exams at college in LSR, I flew to Mumbai, and the next day I started working. So I didn't even get a break after graduating. So that's how it was. I started working at 20. Then I think when I was 22 or 23, I took a break to like do my post-grad. So I did that. And yeah, I've sort of been working since then. How did you juggle between blogging, Instagram, along with having a full-time job before? I sort of just gave up my social life. My weekends were spent in creating content and editing videos and blogging. I used to have a blog as well. And yeah, I just gave up like hanging out with friends or going out as much and focused on using my free time to create content. So that's how I managed it. Speak some words in Tamil and Ninga eppadi Vellore la settle aaningo. ஸோ நான் ஃபுல்லாக ஒரு வீடியோ தமிழில் செய்ய போகிறேன். ஏன்னா நிறைய பேர் ரொம்ப டைமாக கேட்குறாங்க ஒரு தமிழில் vlog செய்கிறதுக்கு. ஸோ இந்த வீக் நான் அது ஃபில்ம் பண்ண போகிறேன். நீங்கள் அந்த வீடியோ வாட்ச் பண்ணுங்க. பட் டு டாக் அபவுட் ஹவ் வி செட்டில்ட் ஹியர், பேசிக்லி மை granddad I think moved from North India to South India. So for like 5 generations we've been living in Tamil Nadu. So basically Tamil Nadu is like home for us. What are your top 5 favorite travel destinations and your top favorite destinations for great food? Okay, I'm going to quickly talk about places in India. Top 5 in no particular order: Andamans, Rajasthan, Sikkim, Kerala, and I think Arunachal Pradesh. These have been some of my favorite trips. And top destinations for food: Delhi, Rajasthan. I've heard Madhya Pradesh has amazing food. I haven't been, but I would love to visit. Varanasi. I was not expecting Varanasi's food to be so good, but it was delicious. And I think even Mumbai has amazing food actually. Does celebrities having their own channel with millions of followers affect solo creators? I genuinely don't think so, whether it's celebrities or whether it's just like bigger creators. YouTube is a platform where people go to see more real, authentic stuff that they can connect with. Even as a consumer, like I watch so many channels. Just because I'm watching one channel does not mean I will stop watching another channel. So I don't think it makes a difference as such. Is it too late to start a YouTube channel? Definitely not. Again, going back to my previous point, I think YouTube is a platform that really rewards new creators if you're bringing in something new, something authentic, and just being yourself and, you know, providing value to your audience. There's definitely room for new creators on YouTube. So if you want to start your channel, you really should. This one is personal. Do you and Vikram argue over homely matters? Siblings fight? So Vikram and I, growing up, we used to fight a lot, like even physical fights, especially when we were younger and when Vikram was super small. I used to slap him all the time, which I feel really bad about now. But yeah, I think now we've reached a point where we don't really have any fights. We've also sort of figured out what triggers the other person, so we avoid that. I think this happened when we traveled to Vietnam. Like we were so scared before that trip because we were just like, oh my god, like what if we just keep fighting throughout the trip? That'll be horrible. So I think we sort of just figured out what triggers the other person. So if we feel like they're going to get triggered, then we just pull away and like stop irritating the other person. What's the language you think in? Like what do you use when speaking to yourself? I genuinely think in English, which is why I make videos in English, because although I speak Hindi and Tamil, I feel like English is my strongest language. I am able to communicate my thoughts better in that language, and it's just what it is. Like I grew up in Tamil Nadu as a Hindi speaking family living in a place where no one speaks Hindi. That was out of the picture. And in my school, like you weren't really allowed to speak in Tamil and stuff. It was like English compulsory type of school. So yeah, I talk to all my friends in English, and that's just the language I'm most comfortable speaking and thinking in. While you're traveling, what is the best and worst part? Do you feel exhausted at any point? Now, I feel like a lot of people who see my travel vlogs think that, oh my god, this is so much fun, you get to travel and it sounds like such a fun lifestyle, and it definitely is. But you're constantly filming every day, and every single day, by the end of the day, I just want to pass out because I'm so tired. When I'm traveling with family and stuff, like they go to bed, but I have to then sit and take a backup of all the footage and sort of think about what to film tomorrow. So yeah, it's very stressful. After every trip, I feel like I need a break because my trips aren't really like vacation. They're very fun. I'm not complaining about that. But I definitely feel very physically and mentally drained out, that when I come back from a trip, I feel like I need 1 or 2 days off just to like decompress. So yeah, it's definitely tiring, but a lot of fun if you enjoy doing this. Since you have the Apple ecosystem, is it necessary that all influencers need to have an iPhone? Not at all. I started using an iPhone before I became an influencer, and I feel like the Apple ecosystem just sucks you in, and rightfully so, because it's an amazing experience using all the devices together. So I personally enjoy using it, which is why I use it. But of course, you don't need this. You can create content using any phone that you have. What do you think about marriage? When are you planning to get married? So I don't really know how to answer about like what I think about it. I think that is something I want at some point, but also it's not something I feel like I want to do or I should do just because I've reached a certain age and just because I see all my friends getting married. So yeah, it is something, hopefully, I mean, of course I do want to get married at some point, but I don't mind waiting to find the right person rather than feeling like, oh, I've reached this age and now I have to marry someone just because everyone else has done it. So that's how I feel, but it definitely gets overwhelming sometimes when your friends get married, or literally every time I open Facebook, someone or the other is getting married or engaged. So that does get overwhelming sometimes. Do your parents ask you to get married? If so, how will you tackle it? So honestly, I feel like I'm very lucky because my parents are quite chill about the whole marriage situation. They weren't always like this, but I feel like over the years they've become quite chill and they're very understanding and open to discussions about these topics and hearing my thoughts out and being respectful about how I feel. So definitely very grateful for that. And yeah, every now and then they do ask me, like every couple of years, I think they'll ask me if I have someone, if I've thought about getting married, and if I possibly want them to look for someone for me. That's also come up. But coming to my extended family, a lot of my extended family keeps telling me to get married, especially my nani, because I think for my nani, I'm the oldest grandchild, so she just wants to see like a grandchild get married, and I'm the oldest one, so she keeps telling me to get married. So that happens, but yeah, there's no pressure as such to get married. How do you manage to travel during your periods time? So I have made a whole video talking about menstrual cups, but basically menstrual cups have been such a life changer. Before that, I used to use tampons because tampons are also sort of convenient when you're traveling. But yeah, menstrual cups are amazing. I have gone trekking, I have gone into the water and everything with menstrual cups, and yeah, the whole experience is just very comfortable. So what I do is that when I know that I'm gonna get my period, those days I don't plan very heavy activities, but sometimes when you're traveling with tourism boards, you can't really change the itinerary. So I've had instances where I've had to like go on some intense treks and stuff during my period. So if you want to watch my menstrual cups video, I'll leave a card here, you can check it out. Don't you think that travel YouTubers, vloggers are finding it difficult to create content during this pandemic because no one can travel? Yes, of course, that is something I'm also experiencing. I know a lot of people did travel during like the whole November to March period when things were sort of improving, but even then I didn't really travel. I did do like one trip to Meghalaya, but other than that I wasn't really traveling as such because I was just being extremely cautious with COVID. So yeah, it is difficult. I've had to change up, at least I can speak from my experience, I've had to change up my content and share more like home vlogs and stuff like that. So that's how I'm managing, but yeah, that's just something that is outside of our control, I think. Do you regret leaving your job and becoming a full-time YouTuber? I don't think there's been a single day since I quit my job where I've regretted quitting my job. So yeah, that has never happened. It has been, I think, one of the best decisions of my life. Are there times when you feel that you aren't doing enough or making enough money? Do you regret the choice you have made of being an influencer at those times? How do you deal with it? So again, yeah, with money, of course, there are some months where you make good money, some months where you don't make good money. So I think you need to be very disciplined with how you're spending your money. it's tempting to feel like, oh, this month I got so much money, so let me just spend all of it. But there may be months where you're not going to make any money, especially given the pandemic. Before that, I think it was all fine. Even now, I don't think there's been any month where I've not made any money, but some months are lower than others. So you need to be very disciplined about how you're saving your money and not just blow up all your money. So I don't think I've ever regretted it. Like, the money overall is definitely more than what I made in my job. Okay, I was literally talking for so long and just realized that the recording had stopped. None of that recorded, so I'm going to do those questions again now. How did you start YouTube? Were you already an expert in video editing, or you learned after starting YouTube? Did you learn by yourself or take up classes? Now, when I started, I genuinely did not know how to film, how to edit. I knew nothing about YouTube. I randomly took my phone and filmed a vlog, which is the first vlog you see on my channel. And yeah, I didn't even know how to edit. I filmed that vlog and then I was like, okay, now let me learn how to edit. I use this software called iMovie. It's quite a basic software, and we thankfully live in a day and age where there's so much information available online. You can just look up tutorials on YouTube. There are platforms like Skillshare where you can sign up for a free trial and do a lot of classes. So yeah, that's basically how I learned. I don't think I signed up for any course as such, but that's also a great way. If you want to pay and learn everything quickly, you can do that as well. But I basically learned everything on the go and picked up skills over the years. And I definitely still do not think of myself as an expert in video editing. Like you pointed out, I still have like a lot to learn. But I think with practice, you just get more comfortable with the whole editing process and it becomes easier. What will be your advice on selecting YouTube as a full-time profession for upcoming YouTubers? Firstly, I feel like a lot of people getting into YouTube think that it's very easy, you just have to film videos and put it up, but there's a lot that goes behind it. YouTubing is sort of like a business. You have to have that business mindset to make it work as a career for yourself, because you have to think about what you're posting, you have to manage the whole creative side of it, the business side of it, and also think about expanding your revenue streams. So it is a lot of work, and also it takes time for YouTube channels to pick up. It could take like a few months, it could take a couple of years even, because for me, I think it took me 7 months to hit 1,000 subscribers, and that's when I felt like, okay, this is going somewhere. But yeah, for the longest time, no one was watching my videos. I was making videos just because I enjoyed making them, and I think if you don't have that mindset, if you're in it to like get the views and the subscribers, then I think you'll be disappointed, because that takes a lot of time. Of course, there are exceptions, but yeah, you need to go in with like the right mindset and set realistic expectations. Also, talking about money, you only start making money from your YouTube channel, like a decent amount of money, like I think a year or two into your channel. Your journey may be different, but you really need to have like some source of income when you're starting out, especially if you're doing travel content, because travel is not cheap. You need money to travel. So you need to be smart about your money. Either have a full-time job that's paying you and do YouTube on the side, or do YouTube full-time and have like a side hustle so that there's money coming in. Has your friendship ever been broken with your best friend or close friend? And do you think a girl and boy can be best friends? So I wouldn't say friendships have been broken, so to say, but of course a lot of friendships change over time. We evolve as people, we move away to different parts of the world, and friendships that meant so much to you at one point probably don't occupy as much space in your life anymore. Not to say that I'm not friends with those people, but yeah, friendships do change, and I think that's completely normal. I think we need to normalize that. And also, I do think girls and boys can be best friends. Some of my closest friends are guys, and I think those are like the most platonic relationships. So yeah, I think it depends on how you feel about this person. Curious to know why you turned into a vegetarian and your dislike for peas. So I have been vegetarian all my life actually. My parents are both vegetarian. My mom's family is non-vegetarian, but my mom turned vegetarian when she was a kid. So yeah, I've been vegetarian all my life, but I turned vegan in between. A lot of people seem to confuse the two. Veganism is basically when you're completely on a plant-based diet, so you don't have dairy or honey or any animal-based products as well. So I did turn vegan, I think back in 2018. That entire year I was vegan, and even now I try to make vegan choices when possible, but I'm no longer completely vegan because it was getting hard for me to keep up with the kind of trips that I was doing. And my dislike for peas, I know this offends so many people, including like my mom who loves peas, but yeah, I've just never liked peas since I was a kid. I don't know what it is about peas that makes me feel very weird. What will you do if your partner doesn't love to travel? I don't think I would be able to be with someone who doesn't love to travel, because in general, like when you're looking for a partner, I think you need to find people who sort of have similar interests as you to some extent, especially when it comes to like the non-negotiables. Like for me, I think travel is very important. I've been traveling since I was a kid and it's a big part of my life, so I don't think I'd be able to be with someone who doesn't like traveling. Once the COVID situation improves, which will be the first country you're going to visit, because I'm excited to watch the travel vlogs. Honestly, I have no idea, because it's not like COVID is going to magically disappear one day and every country will openly accept us. Right now, so many countries have bans on travelers from India. So it really depends on which countries will be available to travel to. But a few countries that I really want to visit sometime soon, I want to go to Italy, Jordan, and the Philippines. Of course, so many other countries as well, but hopefully these three countries I can visit sometime soon. And lastly, there seem to be so many questions about my love life, if I'm dating someone, if I have a boyfriend. So I thought I'll quickly address that. If I were in a relationship, I think I would only feel comfortable talking about it if I knew for sure this is the person I'm going to end up with, just because of how YouTube is and how people are online. So at the moment, there's nothing worth telling you guys about, but when that changes, I will let you guys know. So yeah, that's all I have to say about this whole topic of love. I think I should do these Q&As more often because I genuinely enjoy doing them. If you'd like to see more Q&As, just like comment and let me know. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel, press the bell button, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!